Hey, welcome to Pop's Place. It's good to see you today, and I'm glad you stopped by. There's a lot of chaos in this house because there's dogs walking around everywhere, so if you hear growling or barking or snoring, you never know what you're going to hear, but it's going to be fun, so it doesn't really matter. Thanks for dropping in. We appreciate you being a part of things. Tonight, I'm going to be making skillet bread. Now, several have asked about skillet bread. What is skillet bread? Well, it's not cornbread. It's a little different than that. Skillet bread is basically like a big biscuit that you make in a cast iron skillet on top of the stove, and so I'm going to go through the particulars of making skillet bread with you. We'll go through some ingredients in just a few minutes. Thank you so much for stopping by. We're so glad you're here, and we look forward to going through this recipe with you. Okay, so ingredients for skillet bread is easy. We need about 2 cups of self-rising flour. We're going to need a half a stick of butter. We need 3/4 to a cup of buttermilk. I'm going to add a little bit of sugar and a little bit of salt, and basically that's it. This is a simple recipe. You're making the skillet on the stovetop. You're going to love it. Okay, so we're starting out with a 2-cup measure of self-rising flour, and I just kind of sift that with my dough cutter, pastry cutter, just so that I know that it's kind of together. To that, I'm going to add maybe a teaspoon of salt, not very much. I know there's already salt in that flour, however, to me it's just not quite enough. I'm going to add about 1 to 2 tablespoons of sugar because I like it to have a hint of sweet, and there ain't nothing wrong with that. And then I will just kind of mix those in as best we can. Now to that, I am adding a 1/4 cup of butter, which is half a stick, chopped into cubes. And from there, I'm going to start cutting the butter into the flour. We're going to do this the same way that we would do biscuits. And the main difference with this dough, when you're creating this dough, it's going to be a little more wet than would be a biscuit dough. We're not rolling this. It's not going to take all of that. But we're going to incorporate these into the flour. You want to get them down to just small pea-sized chunks. That butter will melt in that flour. It's going to be great. And in a moment, as sure as we got that all mixed in there, what I tend to do also is, if I see stuff that's not going in, I'll actually get in there with my fingers and kind of crush that butter in so that it's a little smaller. Hands are clean, don't worry about that. And from there, we will add some buttermilk and make our basic batter. Now, I say 3/4 to a cup of buttermilk. It's going to depend on the dough, depends on the day. I'm telling you, atmospheric conditions can make this dough one way or another depending on what's going on. So you definitely want to mix this in, get it in really good. Once you do, we'll jump in with our buttermilk. Okay. And we'll be right. Now at this point, let's make sure we got you in frame. I'm going to go ahead and add some buttermilk. So I am not measuring this, y'all. I'm just going to do the best I can. And we're going to add buttermilk until the dough looks like it's supposed to look. Basically what we want is what my grandma used to call a shaggy dough. This is not it. So we're going a little more. Quite a bit more. Okay. You want to incorporate all the flour. And we're going to get it all mixed in. And it's going to be a wet dough, y'all. I'm just letting you know. It's going to be a wet dough. Still not there. Some days you need more liquid than others, and that's all right. All right, there we go. We're getting there. Now we're cooking with gas. All right, so now this is self-rising flour. You think that's not very much dough. I can promise you this thing expands quite a bit. So we're going to get that all in there. I will use a spatula to get most of it out of the bowl. Make sure it's nice and good. And we'll jump to the skillet in just a moment. So the secret to this one is we're going to warm our skillet, but we're not going to go super crazy with it. I'm going to put this thing on a 4 because I definitely don't want to burn this right out of the chute. And what I will do is I'm getting my trusty jar of bacon grease, which what country person does not have a jar of bacon grease? I'm emptying it out. So I guess I'm going to go buy some bacon, although that hurts when you get to the register, but you got to do what you got to do. It's how you going to flavor beans and such. So we will do some bacon grease. The bacon grease is, I don't know, just adds a little oomph to it, and that's kind of what we want. Now I am going to use the lid to my other cast iron skillet, and we definitely don't want to go crazy with this. I'm going to just, you know, kind of smear it in the bottom of this pan, let it melt natural. You don't want it so greasy that it's going to ruin things, but at the same time you want enough that it's not going to stick to the cast iron skillet, because midway through the cook we're going to have to flip it. So that becomes fun. We'll do a lot of cooking. It's basically going to bake on the stove. We're going to put it in the skillet, and then it will do its baking for probably a good 20 minutes. And once it's good and brown on the bottom and it's firm, we can get under it with a spatula. We can flip it. Hopefully we won't tear it up. And we'll have a beautiful pan of skillet bread. You can't beat it, honey. I'm telling you, it's so good. So I'm going to let this heat up, and we'll come back when it's time to add it to the skillet. So basically what I did, we've added our dough to the skillet using our spatula here, my little Teflon spatula, and get it into a vaguely circular shape. Doesn't really matter. What we're going to do is we're going to bake it stovetop. That's the best way to get to the result that we're looking for. And I'm going to go ahead and lid this, and we want to let this bake on top of the stove. It will keep in the steam, it will keep in the heat, and this will bake. In about 20 minutes, we'll come back and check it again, and we should have a beautiful risen skillet bread. Okay, so we are back. I'm going to take a look. It's been about 20 minutes. You can kind of see. Basically what we want is we want the top to kind of set up. And I'm still seeing some kind of sticky places in this. It's not so bad, but this is doing its best work on the bottom of this. You see how it's expanded to fill almost the whole thing. It is still not done. We're going to let this go for just a few more minutes under the lid. I'll come back and we're going to try to flip it without breaking it all to pieces. So, all right, so we're going to do our bestest here to flip this over. I don't want to tear it up. If you'll notice, it's beginning to break in the middle, so I'm going to try to use this. It is breaking all to pieces. Apparently I went a little heavy on this. We're going to do the best we can, so give it a flip. And we got it mostly done, is what I'm saying. So basically what we want to do is give it just a few more minutes to let it get browned through. Trust me when I say it ain't going to matter. It's still going to be good. So, y'all, I'm just taking a little bite right now. All right, so we tore it up, and that don't even matter to me because I'm still going to eat it. And I'm going to just pull it right out on this plate. Skillet bread. Now, basically what I do is I'm going to smear some butter on it. We'll clean up the skillet. This is just good stuff when you're doing things like beans and rice, or when you're doing a nice soup. The skillet bread is like a little variation, getting away from the whole you know, making biscuits or making cornbread. Just a way to change things up. So anyway, that's it. We're going to put some butter on it, and whenever it's time to plate it up, we got another 20 minutes on the roast. We'll be right back and show you exactly what we got. Okay, so we are here. Supper is ready. And what I got tonight, I didn't show you everything I cooked. Now, honestly, this is the Cheetah Ray version of red beans and rice because I used canned red beans. You think, oh, canned red beans, that's gotta be horrible. Well, for tonight, for a work night, I did that because I know a secret. I'm not gonna tell you until I do the actual red beans and rice. And we will make some red beans and rice, and I will show you how to do it from scratch. We'll soak the beans, we'll make it on down. Maybe towards the weekend I will do that. But this, yes, what we're here to try. Look at y'all. I know it tore all to pieces, and I don't even care. We got skillet bread. It's better than a biscuit. It's got more flavor. It's so good. It's got that kind of, now I got a little brown on this side. Y'all, you know me, I don't care. It's good. So amazing. So I got these red beans and rice, I got some roast pork, and I've got this beautiful salad. It's gonna be so nice. So anyway, I'm gonna go have my supper. Thank you for dropping in. If you liked the video, I hope that you will like and subscribe, tell your friends about it, share the link, and come back and see us at Pop's Place. We're gonna do some new things coming up towards my birthday. My birthday is on March the 3rd, so I hope to see you maybe around my birthday. Maybe I'll do a video before my birthday. So anyhow, it is good to see you. Thank you for dropping in, and we appreciate you here at Pop's Place. Bye-bye.